This is the cleaning room, the entrance, the purification room. It's the place where the sky had come down to the deep of the sea. So we have this sky to walk on it, and we have this atmosphere as if there was a rain, and this rain is purifying us, cleaning us. We have these flowers. Some of them has lavender, chamomile, oregano, and basilic. The basilic and the oregano represents the masculine, and the lavender and the chamomile the feminine. All this work is related between feminine and masculine. The sculpture here, a gente se encontra aqui agora, amanhã em outro lugar. Enquanto isso, Deus é deusa, santa gravidade, is an old work, which is also a mix of a flying work to a subaquatic, submarine work. I also bring this masculine and feminine. It's divided in two parts, as if one was the boy and the other one the girl. And also the whole, we have these two parts, the body falling down, and the columns take them out, the pink columns. The pink columns represents the institution, the untouchable time, the things that has no subjectiveness. They are the objective part. And the body falling down from here to there, snakily cut, is the meat, the flesh, the nature, the spirit of transformation that we have inside of us. In the wall we have these words, Dayakapa, Ayaraki, Nukuyura, Nukushina, Hana Yushibu, Ni Yushibu. These are good words in the voice of Chanabane. I said to him, should we title it Sacred Words? And he said, oh, let's call it Good Words. It's very interesting for me how he simplified the thing. He spread out this simplicity, this beauty, this healing, this sacred. So the sacred many times is when we don't say sacred. As the pajés say that they are not the pajé. As the pajés says that the Nishipan is the pajé. We have these kene little cloths hanging on this trapeze, like if the kene, this sacred geometry, is always in a trapeze, is always vibrating, always moving from here to there. It's not something stable, it's something very concrete, but in movement. We have here also this river, that is many times the ends of the sentence of their chants. In their mythology, the world is divided in A and E. When everything begins, they call, and the men arrive, and they, and then came the knowledge, and the women, and then they said, and this is the beginning. So what I made is that I pick up a dice without any number, and I write down in 3 faces E, and on 3 faces A. As you know, a dice has 6 faces, a cube has 6 faces. And I begin to play the dice. So I play and I take the note of the letter. And I know that the population in Bilbao, as Cian, the main leader there, population in Bilbao, no, population in Jordão, so the population in Jordão and Tarauacá, they have something like 3,019 people on the words of Cian, who I call to ask. Maybe now is more, you know. So I played the dice 3,084 times. So the beginning was in the top and the end is on the bottom here. That is the line that I found by chance playing the dice. I don't know if I bumped to the right number of women and men in the Jordão, but that's what the dice brought to us. So we make this river as a python at the same time, representing the population of Jordão. So I think the name of the work is A River of People. In the other side of this room here, we have this ring of the pajés, you know, like this meeting where we have these maracas and we have these tipis. For these maracas and tipis, I asked Tadeu, I would like to do it personally, but because of the difficulties we had on the process of doing the exhibition, I asked Tadeu to go all the way up to the river and come down buying maracas from some villages. Now the idea would be from all villages, but it was from, I don't know, 8 or 10 villages, maybe more. He got these maracas and these curipis. So in a way, it's representing the people of Jordão, and they are on this concentric ring. And on the center of it, we have this pot, this clay pot, where we can do the deformation. So I'm thinking here, and we need to talk about, we have a salvia here, and Chris, our guardian from Denmark, he has a kind of dry charcoal, that you can burn, put some salvia, and with the feather you make some wind to make it blow, and then you can make a deformation on the room. So you can pick up that, make a deformation around the whole exhibition, and let it there deformating on this entrance. We gotta think about if we're gonna do that every day, if you're gonna do every second day, every third day, something like that. But it's a question to discuss, and then Chris can teach you guys how to do it, or teach one of you, and this one, or teach one or three or four, I don't know, and they can teach the other people who are taking care of the exhibition. But I think it's important for the spirit of the exhibition to keep this deformation. The deformation cleans, takes the bad spirit, the bad thinking, things that are sometimes, you know, making our life a bit boring and more difficult. In the end, we have this line of bracelets made by the wife of Zezinho Bã, which is the representative of the Runicuim and the Indigenous Association, someone who had really made a lot of stuff for the exhibition had happened, helping us now. And we have all these kenes there. I don't know the name of all these kenes. If you guys can get Ioneer and get all the names, I would like to write the names like in a vertical way, coming down. So maybe you can talk to her, and because she's doing so much. But we can let also without, you know, because there is a mystery, at least for a beginning and first step. The people can get used with the kenes. I think maybe Camila has the name of these kenes, so we need to check with her, because I think when we got that, I asked to get the names, and so maybe we have it. And this boat, this flying spaceship boat, where I'm moving from here to there, is the place to breathe this, the spirit of this raining sky, subaquatic one, in here. This hammock was made by Ioneer, and I got from her when they had the release of the book at the Cupixau in Rio de Janeiro, which was a very strong moment. And I had many other hammocks. I'm taking, in fact, 5 hammocks back, that we got for the exhibition. We thought about have more hammocks than we have in the end. So I could put any other one of them, but I decided to put this one from Ayani because Ayani is this incredible representing of the women from Jordan. She's a Chana, she's a person very wisdom, and we have her person here. So we have here a hammock weaved by someone that we know, that is here, that knows by heart what we are doing. So I thought that was perfect to have. I don't like the word perfect, but I thought it was meaningful. Was the spirit had told me to let this hammock here, and also to pick up this hammock in Rio de Janeiro and bring here, because I already knew that I had more than I need. But I realized that it was very important to have her hammock. I didn't know where I would put, so when I arrived here and I saw this void of this old work from 2003 that we have here, I realized that should be the place for it. And this work was an expression very strong of a moment full of joy, that this exhibition was just some months before the birth of my second kid. And in fact, we made this kid in Pernambuco, where this piece had been commissioned and exhibited. So we have this spirit here, and it's good because I always know the date I made it, because it's the date of his birth, and it's not easy to know the dates that we did all the sculptures, all the works. When I was planning it, I felt that this floor, this sky was too empty, and that's where the flowers came to me, that I should, because these flowers, the small ones are made, I guess, maybe still bigger. Is the same structures of the kenes we have for the skin that we have in the cup shower. So maybe we should move for the cup shower. So this floor is what I call sky. That's what I'm talking about, made by cotton. We have a polyurethane foam. This kind of work I've been doing since many years with this foam, but it's the first time that I have it open like that without any wall. I'm very pleased to that. This was something that came to me, that I needed this spirit to open the exhibition, to prepare the people, to prepare a spirit of a dreaming, a place of oniric, to prepare them to go on to the cup shower, where the drums and the python speaks. So this is a purification part to get in the strong one. Shall we go to the next room? Just go and I'm going. I wait the people to go and then I go, okay? So here we are at the cup shower. It was a long process to realize how to make it. But the skin, this net we have on the ceiling, is all made by cells, All my crochet works are made by cells. It always had been. And when I stretch them, they became losangonal, like a canoe. So what I did here is to put the nucleus of the cell and the membrane of the cell. That is more or less the structure of the kenetu. All the crochets, they are made on a spiral. So what we do, we put them together, stretch them out. We do a lot of cells. We put them together, stretch out, and then you have a lot of voids. And on these voids, we do a negative crochet. This idea was to have all this spirit going up to the sky and coming back to the earth. So we have this relation to the sky. There is this python on the other room, the two python going together in a helicoidal helix to the top that I forgot to talk about. And these are representing the spirit of the pythons, the spirit of the creation. Many times we see that in the visions during ayahuasca Nishpan ceremonies. And I had read this guy Jeremy Narby, who I advise people to read to, that this image happened in many different ancestral civilizations. The image that they have on the drawing on the last room of the two pythons doing the same thing is an image cut from a Egyptian fresco or drawing. I have seen the pythons doing that too, and the smoke doing that in two groups. And the stairs that we have here. There is these stories on for example, the story of the beginning of with the vegetables, how they begin to plant and take care of the vegetables. This story is in the book of the healing. Is the first story made by speech by Agostinho Icamuru. And this ancestor story tells a story of the women. They begin to find out, one woman begin to find out the secret of how to make the vegetables. So she began to go out every day and make it. Then she began to let their kids with the grandmother and come with her friends. I don't remember the whole story, but there was something that they said to the grandmother. If the mother tell the kids what was going on, they would cut her toe. But the grandmother suddenly told something like that, and the kids followed them, and they found out that. They got very angry with that, and I don't know what they did. I read this story like almost 2 years ago when I was for the first time in São Joaquim. I might need to read it again, or I might like to read it again. And then these kids decide to go away to the other side of the world, to the invisible world. And then it grows from the earth, this big, long staircase, and then climbing up to the skies. One day, a woman, very pretty girl, looked to a star and say, "Oh, stars, you are so beautiful. If you were a man, I would like to marry you." And then this star was this guy, the son of these women. He was there with 4 or 5 friends of him, but he was the guy. He came down, but he dressed like an old man to come down. Put a skin of an old man. And then he came to her and said, "Okay, you said you want to marry me. I am the guy on the top." "No, but it was not you. It was a star." I said, "I am the star." "Ah, no, you're too old. I don't want to marry you." But her sister decided to marry him. And then every day in the morning, this guy went out. He took out his old man's skin, and he began to work on the plantation, on the vegetables. He was a very handsome young guy, and strong and intelligent. And he began to bring back a lot of vegetables. Everybody was beginning to see, "Oh, this old man is incredible, how powerful he is, and what a good stuff he's bringing." And one day, his wife, I think they had already 5 kids, and his wife decided to follow him. And he found out that she found out that he was this young, beautiful guy. Then she became even more full of love to him, enchanted. There was a lot of happiness. And he told her that she could not tell anybody. For a while, it was great. But then one day she wanted to show everybody. She wanted to show how beautiful was her husband to everybody. And one day they went to fish. When he took the clothes out to swim, the vest of an old man, she threw it on the river. When he came back, it has already gone. He got very upset of her. He said, "It's going to be a lot of problems. Everybody's going to get jealous of you, of me. The man's going to get jealous of you. The women's going to get jealous of you." And there was no difference. First, her sister wants him back and said, "No, you said that you didn't want me." And then it became a mess on the women's side and on the men's side. And then he said it was too much, day after day, and said, you know, I said to you that you shouldn't do that. Now I'm gonna go away. I'm gonna take my 5 kids, and we go away to the invisible world. And they went back on the staircase up, and they became the Pleiades on the constellation of Taurus. You know the Pleiades? So there is many stories in many different indigenous and all around of this planet, ancestral stories about the staircase going up to the other side. And if you think about the DNA structure, we have the helix serpents and the stair in the center of it. Funny, this I read with Jeremy Narbitu. Funny or not, this and then the so what he thinks that he found is that nobody talk about the spirituality. He began to research that on shamanism and everything, on anthropology and on science, and he found that on the chromosomes they emits a photon and low radiation, which has very acid colors, is very invisible. And he believed that when we drink ayahuasca, all these chromosomes, all these pythons that we have in every cell of us, begin to dance, and that's why we have all these visions and teaching. Of course, this is a matter vision, a science vision, but the Indians, they would talk about the spirituality, which is another thing, but it's very important because their way is that they drink the ayahuasca, and through the ayahuasca, of course, these people are the pajés who had make many diets, study a lot, and they drink the ayahuasca, they talk with the plants, and the plants tell to them what to do, where to go, which plant to take for the healing and everything. So this is something that is not understandable and not accepted by the West. Even anthropology doesn't really talk about that. And that's why Jeremy Narby began to study that after many years of talking in meetings and everything, and never talking about the spirituality, and never hear anybody to talk about spirituality. It looks like he went to the Echo 92, and with all these spirits, all these people from all over the planet, he realized that he needed to talk to what is the most important thing for the indigenous. And that's what we bring in here. That is the sacred secret. The sacred secret is the sacred that is everywhere, you know. And with this vision that the sacred is everywhere, you begin to see more about this sacredness. Maybe we're never gonna go all the way to the sacreds, because when they sing, when they speak, it's the voice of the forest, you know. It's not them, there's no separation between them and the forest. There's no the forest, there's no the nature. It's everything together at the same time. But we don't respect, and the West doesn't respect this knowledge, think that this is silly, maybe it's try and error that make them find the plants. But the reality is that 74% of the vegetables medicines that we use in the pharmacies, Western medicines, they are comes from this traditional knowledge, from this indigenous knowledge, from this way to deal with the spirituality, idea of knowledge and everything. So we are using that knowledge, but we are not at the same time accepting this knowledge. It's a kind of arrogance that. So for me, the most important thing on this exhibition is that we need to begin to respect this knowledge, respect these people. We need these people. Planet Earth need very much this knowledge, this hierarchy thinking that the rationality is a superior way of develop knowledge is a huge mistake. I believe that they are much more advanced than the West. You know, they don't need all these objects to live, you know. They can live with the forest. The forest can give everything to them. Of course, the forest now is smaller. There is boats with engines. And then you have all these problems that human beings are arriving to running for money, to buy this and this and that. So it's a very balanced situation, difficult, because if it's for one side, they have everything, they have the cure, and they have everything that the forest gives. They are too close to the human civilization, to the white civilization, not to be filled with the civilization goods, and then becoming a little bit semi-dependent of these goods, as we are absolutely completely dependent of all of it nowadays. So on this piece, we had a ritual here yesterday, and was a small ritual. We just had one dose, and it was very special. So in the end of the ritual, Tadeu, who was sitting exactly here where I am now, he said, "This is Bajnepuru, Chana, Yuba." Bajnepuru is the enchanted spider. The enchanted spider brought to the Runicuin the knowledge of the cotton, how to make the thread of the cotton, how to weave with the cotton. The story is something more or less that the women in that time, to give birth, they need to call someone, I guess was Huancaru, to came here. The man went out, begin to call, and this spirit comes and take the baby out of the woman. But at the same time, they take the woman with him, so the woman die, or something like that. So there was a woman who was near to have the baby, and she began to cry, to complain, because she didn't want to die. She didn't want to go with Huancaru, if it is Huancaru. And suddenly appeared the rat and the spider. And then the rat began to put some herbs on her belly and took the baby, teach her how to compress for the baby to get out, and teach her how to have the baby by herself, and took the baby out of her belly. And then the spider began to wrap a textile, weave a textile, and wrap the baby, and then gave the baby back to her, protected on the cotton with cloth. So that's the spider, how the spider brought the cotton for him. Then he said the spider, the name is Bajnepuru. He said that this is the Bajnepuru, is the work of the spider in the top. The Chana is the bird that can copy all the songs from any other bird. He can sing any other song. And these trees has a lot of nests like that, falling down like these drops. So when you have a singer or a chanter, very good, high, like Fabiano, for example, like Tadeu Cian, you call them Chana. Ayani, you call them Chana, or they call themselves Chana when they think they are in a moment that they can call themselves Chana. So Chana is a kind of a pajé of the chant, a pajé of the music. So Tadeu Cian said that this is the Chana, and I also see this as the boat, as the flying boat with this canoe that is a mix of canoe of the steppe of the jaguar and the python. A steppe of the jaguar is when you want to go invisible, you dress the steppe of the jaguar. It's a losango with 4 losangos inside. And the python is a losango with a losango inside. And then here around we have these 2 snakes, the dark snake and the white snake, which is a very sacred one. And all on these bags of the snakes, you have this representation of the masculine and the feminine. From outside we see the masculine, but when you put a hand inside, you see the feminine. So for each bag, we have a hole on the bench. Also, these bags have a function to hold the textile over the bench, don't let the textile fall down, because it's a very long textile. So all this bench was cut in a CNC machine, so it was all drawn by hand, then fine-tuned by computer, and then cut it, which is the same thing with these benches here. And on this ring for the people, we have also the the canoes of the python on all the pillows. So that's why he said that around here is the python, you know. Here in the center we have the lake of the python, the lake of the Abusan. This stone we have a cut with the python here, the snake, and also we have a cut here with the silhouette of the pajé do Abusan. We have the feathers, the head, and the maraca. So I'm gonna put here, I received a message yesterday from the medicine, and I think I had received it before but was not clear, from the Abusan, that he want to pass away his cockade, his feather, and his vest, a vest that he has since long time, a vest that I saw him the first time I went to Jordão, when we first went to São Joaquim, then 3 days after we overnight in Novo Natal, and finally we arrived in Coração da Floresta, the land of do Abusan, the village of do Abusan, the aldeia of do Abusan. And he was with the same vest. He make exchange for me with the feather and the cockade, because technically they don't sell cockades. The big pajé, they don't sell a cockade. And they make this translation. And I thought about to let the cockade here, but I would like to take the feather and the vest. But yesterday I received this message that the reality is to let it here, to let it at the Abusan Lake. So it's incredible, because this is gonna become very sacred, because we're gonna have on this piece. This is Yushibu. Yushibu is this. There is many spirits of Yushibu. Ni Yushibu, Hara Yushibu. So Yushibu is everywhere. Is a spirit that is moving and is organizing our movement. We believe that Yushibu is open our way for us. So it's Yushibu who was telling and making all of it happen. That we're gonna have in this piece the cockade, the feather, and the vest of do Abusan. And for me, this is hugely sacred. You know, I can't believe that we are doing this now. You know, to put the cockade of do Abusan is a cockade made with feathers of eagle, which is the stronger being from the forest. And we have also the eagle here. We have the arara here, and we have the, what's this bird of night bird with big eye? Olo. And there is a little bird from his village. I don't know which one is that, but maybe we're gonna discover later. And here is his vest. He said, oh, you can clean that and sell to someone, or I don't know. So I thought we could clean and put here, but then I realized that we should not clean. We should let the way it is, with his smell, with his spirit on it, to have it very sacred on the piece. I think he would be very proud and happy to have it here. And I think this is what he was trying to say to me when he said he wants it to stay here. So we have the tools of the pajé here. I think I'm gonna let a maraca here too. We're gonna find a maraca. Or at least we're going to have a maraca on the table. But maybe we're just going to have that that we have here now. We can let a flower here. We can put some flowers once a week. We can let this pot here. And this other one we take out. And we're going to have a little nest that is with Camila that I just saw just before I come here today. This is to go out of the exhibition, okay? And this and this one is from Fabiano. We let here for a while, but he's gonna take it before he goes. Okay? We want just one cockade here. Just this one from the Abu-San, this very sacred one that he decided to let here. And this makes everything, because we are working in this sacredness, you know. Art is always like that. We are always in the sacredness. We are always in the spiritual, you know. It's not us who take the decisions. It's the art who take the decision. It's the spirit of the art, the Yushibu of the art who take the decision. Always had been like that for me, you know. I'm just someone here on the transition from something that's coming from there, from this spirituality, crossing my body and bringing it back for the people. That's why it's not easy to be an artist, and that's why I don't advise, become an artist to everybody, because I know that the way is a very hard way, because we are always in the working for someone, you know, and this someone, which is the spirit, is not it's very nice, but it's very hard master, you know, and we have to read his letters, his cards, in a very subjective way. So we never know exactly where we are going. But when we receive something like that, we realize, wow, that's incredible. Once I was thinking that sometimes an idea, a solution for a problem that you are having comes like this, like nothing, like a, and then you think about, my God, it appears like that. Can you imagine it could not appear? And because it's just passed here, it could pass and I didn't catch. And it would be such a loss. And then I realized that maybe a lot of solutions, a lot of ideas are passing now and I'm not catching, or we are not catching. But anyway, that's the mystery to be alive. As I said many times, the Runi Queens, they believe on the joy, on the cure, on the healing. They're not going to make a song, oh, I'm sad, my wife went away, and blah, blah, blah. They're not going to valorize the pain, the suffering like we do in the West. You know, that doesn't make sense for them, because for them, if you valorize the pain, you still on the pain. You got to blow away the pain, you know. Let the pain go away and have the curing, the positive vibration, the positive thinking to cure and to live well. They believe that the sickness is a negative thinking. The negative things let open door for the negative spirit to get in our body and make a mess on us, you know. So all the singings, all their ceremonies, it's always about the sun is shining, the birds are singing, the force is coming, the python is guiding, and we are together. It's always about union, about being together, and about joy. So my work was always being about union, about being together, about joy. And so I'm very happy to find these philosophers or this philosophy that really reach in a way the spirit of my work, and what I believe that can be very helpful for the whole society on making our life a little bit more relaxed, you know, more serene, more tenderness. They are people, you know, you don't see a Runi Queen cutting the other one when they are speaking. Never they do that. Never, 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 never. They're going to listen all the way to the end. It can take ages. And the guy can speak, stop, come back. Nobody going to cut until the guy say, Rausch, showing that that's the end of his speech. And then another one's gonna come. They can stay hours listening to each other. They also don't say to you, oh, Ernesto, don't do like that, this is wrong. They never say that we are doing something wrong. And if you are doing something wrong on their villages because it's a different codes, you're gonna learn. You're gonna learn through their silence, you know. It's not gonna, sooner or later you learn. So there's no anxiety to say to you that you are doing something wrong. And also, when you don't say to anybody that they are doing something wrong, you don't begin to block the person. And when we begin to block the person, put walls on the person, cut the person, we begin to spiritually block that person, to make the person create self-censorship, to make the person be less spontaneous, be afraid about saying thing wrong, be afraid about making something wrong. So this guy, his name is Chana. He's a little son from Aru and Marcela. And Mauro is one of the leaders of this group, Guardians, Runicuim Guardians, who since 10 years make works in Rio de Janeiro, bringing pajés from Runicuins, Yawanawá, Shipibo, Maracame, Taitas. And this had begin this movement with Chanabané when he was 17 years old. He arrived in Rio de Janeiro and he began to make that. He's 29 now and such a wisdom person and such a great friend. And in fact, Mauro is this guy dressed in black here. So I think we can go also, this floor here, I don't know how we call this materiality. Does anybody know this matter here? Palha, yeah, in English. Oh, nobody knows. Maybe you can get on the telephone. Hay? Hay. So this hay floor here, I was thinking what to have on the floor, and I think this was a very great solution that came. Things comes like that, because we have also this noise, you know, this noise of the forest, you know, of this natural thing. So the noise are always very important to me, to move, walk, feeling the ground, feeling where we are. So let's come to the next room. So this room here is the room of the room of the healing, the room of the pajé, where the pajé teaches. We have on this room, the main object is the Book of the Healing in a special edition in English for you guys to be able to share and check and read it. The Book of the Healing is the book who brought me to the Runicuim people for the first time through the hands or to the voice of Ana Dante, who had become the publisher of the book after being invited by the Botanical Garden to publish the book, and after going to the forest and see if they really think that she should be the person to do it. So it was something made with a lot of attention. And the first time she went there, she said that she thought a lot about me. When she came back, she began to say to me that I need to meet the pajés. So 2 years later, I went there and I met the pajés finally. It was a revolution in my life. I was very scared in the beginning. I was thinking that I would be swallowed from the jaguar and never come back to Rio de Janeiro. But in reality, I had been swallowed by the python and I never went back to my old life. Yeah, everything began to change in my life. Not so much, you know, but some little things that a new world, a little, in a way, I could say that in a certain way, metaphorically, I had climbed this stair that we have in the first room to this land of the invisible, land of the spiritual, land of the other side of the world. So in a way, I had touched this other side. Of course, it's a very new thing for me, even though the art is already part of this other side. But I feel like I'm a very young person and with a lot of things to learn. And I like very much this spirit of being someone who has so much to learn. I believe what I hear from the pajés, they always say, I'm just learning, I'm just learning. So the learning is this planet, you know, and I'm very thankful for this learning. So we have this book, and we have these two drops that, in fact, it was supposed to put 2 candles on it, but my team in Brazil forgot to put the hole for that. We can still put the candles, but nobody did that, and I think maybe it will stay without the candles. Here we have this picture of the Abu-San with the vest that we just let here on the exhibition, with Agostinho Camuru on the left, who is the great pager who had dreamed for 20 years about this book, with the father of Tadeu, Cian, and Ayani, who are here today, and who is the one who told Alexandre Quinet, who had been here during the symposium, and who is from the Botanical Garden, that they wanted to do this book about their healing and combine their healing with the knowledge of plants from the Botanical Garden. They want to have this confidence of the Botanical Garden. Beside the Abu-San, we see Salvio. In fact, we see Lauro, and beside Lauro, we see Salvio sitting down on the little bench with the hat with Puma hat in his head. This picture is the cover of the book, but on the Portuguese edition, we have Savio in the back because it folds. You know, there is a fold, so you don't see him direct on the cover. We decided to put this picture big because these are the big pagés. You know, when we need to hear that, people don't respect these pagés, they don't respect this knowledge, and these guys are great warriors, great researchers, are people extremely important in the Runicuim culture and extremely important for me. The drawings we have on the wall, when we did the meeting in Novo Natal to invite the Runicuim people to find a committee to come here for this exhibition, we asked them if they would like to make a drawing. And they did this drawing, the pagés from many villages, you know, 32 or 34. And all these drawings had been made in one afternoon, or one afternoon and one morning, in 24 hours. They had such a facility for drawing, as they have for singing, and they have for dancing. I think they are all artists, you know. There's no separation between art and life. Art for them is a connection between life and life. There's no, when they make a drawing on the TP, it's for the TP become stronger. When they make a drawing on the hammock, it's for you sleep spiritually better, you know. There is even songs. Do Abu-San, the day, he sang a chant of the kene of the hammock that is good to sing it before you lay down on the kene hammock. For them, it's very important this relation with the owner of the place. For example, if you're gonna make a clay pot, you got to sing and to talk with and ask the permission with the owner of the clay, and then you can take the clay and make a pot. If you don't do that, you're not gonna make a good pot in a spiritual level, because this is a connection from where we take and where we give. I think that when we make a tunnel on a road, maybe we should invite the pagés and sing for the mountain and ask the permission of the mountain to dig that hole and cross it with a train tunnel or car tunnel or whatever tunnel. So what I think is that it's very important to think about what we are taking out from nature, because we're being very brutal with nature in a very huge brutality that is difficult to imagine what these Runicuim think or feel when they see how brutal we are with nature, with their parents, because the nature is their family, you know, the forest, the animals, they learn with the animals, they have chants for the croc, for the caravelho, for the python, for the birds, for the monkey, for a lot of things. And we are killing this mother of us. We are, you know, if there was not the plants, we were not here. It's the plants who killed this, who cleaned this atmosphere, who was not blue and made it become blue, full of oxygen for us to breathe. And they still doing. As more we cut them, more dry we become, more heat we got. Interesting thing is that many times they first do the frame, the canoe frame, and they get inside of the drawing. I think this is a process that gives time to them to prepare their spirit for the drawing, to think about what they're gonna do as a drawing, what's gonna be the main content. I like very much the way they feel the empty part of the drawings. You know, I think it's a very special, very unique, this way of them to do it. I think some painters can learn a lot from it. At least I am learning a lot. There was one attention on this room that I would like to say to you. The way we use it to fix the drawings. First, I would like to put on frames, but then I felt that the drawings would be suffocated without breathing. And the drawings are always hanging there, which makes they don't survive for a very long time because there is a huge humidity there. And I was impressed of the drawings since the first time I went there. So what we did here, in the back of this cloth, we have some nails. And in the top of the paper, we have a magnet, a strong magnet. So this magnet comprimes, I don't know, compress the paper to the cloth and to the nail, and then it's fixed without making any hole and any damage on the work. I decided to cover this room because in reality I said to them that I would like to paint it brown because of the video, because whatever. I didn't know exactly why. That's something that's difficult sometimes to talk with the exhibition managers, curators, and all of it. Because you had the intuition that you have to go to some direction, but you don't know exactly why you're going. And then they said that it would cost so much to do that if I didn't want to put the video in the other room, that was the blue room. And then I said, oh yeah, okay. And then I thought about doing this cloth thing. What I think it warms up much more this room than a painting, you know. I think it brings a little bit the spirit of the forest for us. So I think we let this shelf with some books about healing, about shamanism, about anthropology. I had a feeling that we have too much books, that we have to edit that and have less books to direct more the people, you know, to make it easier their life. When we have too much information, it generates problems for us because it's difficult to choose what to read, what to watch. So maybe we can give a hand and editing a little bit. And also here, I would like to put another picture and two drawings. I don't know if we're gonna make it because it didn't make till today. It looks like it's not, but I would like to see these pictures. You have already framed. One is the picture of all of us in Novo Natal after the meeting where this exhibition began. And a drawing that I received from a boy, I got from him. Incredible drawing. This guy is great, and he's part of a group of painters association named Maku, organized by Iban Salles, a great master on singing and on everything. You know, he's a wisdom person and a researcher, deep researcher from the Runicuim. But this boy, I met him in São Joaquim, and he showed me this drawing, and it's a great drawing. And also we have a little drawing of one of these guys, one of these young pajés. He was in Novo Natal doing our meeting, and maybe he wanted to make the drawing, but there was no papers anymore. And make a paper in a small piece of paper like that, and it's one of the most amazing drawings that we have, even though being so small. So maybe tomorrow we're gonna hang it, but this is being postponed, and I'm gonna leave on Monday morning. So let's see what's gonna happen. So now, my friends, I invite you for the last room. Is it finished, Marcos? Not yet, no? So I'm gonna tell you about the last room because we are all relaxed here. It's a very small room in relation to this one. We have on this wall, we have a drawing from my friend Chanabanea, representing an indigenous Runicuim holding without touch the earth. Like if they were the people who are holding the earth, who are holding this nature in this moment catastrophic that we are living with our violence over the planet. And this painted I did on the computer. That's why we have the Python, Alex Python from the Egyptian writing. And I put the paper in this frame to make embroidery. You know, I don't know how you call that, this round thing. And I made on paper, like these drawings here, very simple thing on paper and color pencil, to be something very simple, because I think that the solutions for the things, many times the simplest one is the best one. And I think we are really complicating very much things, and things are complicated, but we are complicating. Maybe not to go for and talk about the true thing and go and try to find solutions, but or to cover the sun with something. Anyway, I want it very simple, with idea of being simple. And on the wall here, I have a place for 5 projections, and we cut a kind of a python made by fake felt. And these projectors, they project one video in each time. In between each one of these videos, we have a chant or a talk from Chanabane and Kati. We want to have something in between the videos. On the videos, they are telling stories. Stories of the canoe, stories of the python, stories of the Nishpan, stories of the squirrel. These stories, we record on them. We didn't have really time to go, and we had many problems on the way to go to the forest, so it was more short condensed, but I think it's quite good. And I put this fake feather to the thing to be projected on the fake feather, because I really don't like this strong feeling of reality when we see a picture. So maybe if we had the picture projected on this feather element, we have it more animal, more softy, more dirty, more on the spirit that we like to spread around on this planet. House.